I went online to become a private detective. It was a private detective school online, and I paid online. I never heard from them again. I thought to myself, I either got ripped off, or this is my first case. This is a journalistic podcast, Shannon. We vaccinate our listeners with answers. And I'm going to keep lip-syncing the important questions until TikTok gives me a show. Shannon, how can the moon landing be real if the moon itself is fake?
That's not true, Mike.
Oh, isn't it true, Shannon? You're fake. You're a hologram.
1 in 5 New Yorkers are food insecure. What's your solution for that, Mike?
Fortune cookie. Because that's food and advice at the same time. Shannon, at least have the decency to backstab me, okay? You stab me in the front every time. Some fans can't watch the podcast because they're triggered by our sexuality. And message to those fans, we will leak a sex tape right into your mouth.
This is Mike Vecchione Investigates.
And you're not better than me. Welcome to another episode of Mike Vecchione Investigates, guys. Thank you for joining us once again. There's no guest today, and today is a very special day because it's our last show. It is our last show, and it's our last show. A lot of you are asking why, and we'll get to it. But first of all, before we get to why it's the last show, I would like to thank everybody for watching this show, all of the low-income whites out there. And if you're out there and you're on your high horse and you're on your way to work in your Mercedes and you're going, I'm not a low-income white. If you've been watching and listening to this show, you actually are. So you learned that about yourself. But I have sincere gratitude and appreciation, and I'm going to be expressing it throughout the episode for everybody who watched, listened, and supported the show. I read the comments. They tell you not to read the comments, but I read all of the comments and the live chat. I'm aware of the live chat. Sometimes I drop in to say hello. So I have a lot of gratitude for the incels and low-income whites who watch and have supported this show from day one. Now, the reason that we're ending the show is after careful thought. I've thought about this for a long time, and I've tried to improve the show in different ways, but it's just very simple that we're not getting the numbers. And the people here at Gas Digital, all kidding aside, have been massively supportive. Even though our numbers have been low, they have been massively supportive and gave me no pressure, by the way, to end the show. But I can't keep doing a show that just a little personal note about me. I have one of my weaknesses is, and this is a weakness, I refuse to quit stuff. I just keep coming, and people will go, oh, that's a noble thing. But it's not a noble thing if the thing that you're pursuing is not working. And it's working comedically, I think, this show, but it's not working commercially. So, again, my weakness is just to keep coming at it, keep coming. And we've tried to make some adjustments. We wanted to make some adjustments without stepping outside of the theme of the show or who I am as a person. So, but I guess it wasn't enough to garner commercial support. So one of my weaknesses is to keep coming at the never quit. And that's actually wrong that I've learned in my life. It's not that you should quit, but you should, sometimes you need to stop, you need to make adjustments, and you need to pivot. And self-admittedly, that's one of my weaknesses. I like to just keep coming at it. And so I've learned from this podcast, I've learned a bunch of stuff from doing this podcast, but that's one of the things. It's like, instead of just keep coming at it, you need to pivot and adjust. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing next here. I don't know what the future holds. I don't have another podcast planned, but I need to end this one and have the confidence and faith that, the old adage that one door closes and another door opens. So I'm doing that with no safety net. I don't have another podcast planned. I'm going to just close the door on this one and just open myself up to future possibilities and not limit myself, and just take it. I'm on the road traveling pretty heavy, so just take a second and let ideas flow, and then do more of a trial and error approach instead of just locking in and just going at it. But no regrets. This podcast has been unbelievable. Gas has made it unbelievably easy for me, and the biggest person that I have to thank, I'm going to get in here, is Shannon, because Shannon, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, makes this podcast the greatest that it could have been. She gave it the ultimate chance of success. The work that she does and her tireless efforts are nothing short of amazing. And I knew Shannon a little bit before we started the previous podcast, no disrespect. And then I've gotten to know her over the years. And I mean, she is just what a professional person in terms of she's so effective just getting things done. I know it's like she's a great person and I like her personally, but as far as being good at her job, she really makes not just this podcast, but I think a lot of things here at Gas Digital go. And we like to have fun. We like to joke around about Shannon's personal life and can't find a man, all this and that, and or it's like I have bad luck in love. But the real story is that she is really what makes many of shows, including mine, go on this network. So she is incredibly smart and massively competent, and just a rock star in terms of making this the easiest thing possible for me. And I don't think I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I just think for the network in general, she's the engine behind this network. So massive appreciation to Shannon. I have so much admiration and respect for her, and I'm grateful for the job that she has done with this podcast and the work that she put in. The amount of work that she put in behind the scenes is incredible, and keeping things up, clips coming, news stories out, checking in with me. It's just you rarely find that. A lot of people just, they do a job and they just do it and they cash a check. And I understand it because of the monotonous nature of life and of work and of, I want to be promoted or this or that. But Shannon just does it in and out every day. And I have such admiration for people who take their job seriously and are just unbelievable at it. And and there's no fall off. They just keep doing it at such a high level for such a long time. Despite accolades and the fact that everybody else is shining, they are they don't seek the accolades or even care about them. She's did her job to the best of her ability for the entire time, and it really, really made this podcast. It really made this podcast function, and any moniker of success that it has is due to Shannon and her work. And I think her work on other podcasts also, it's not something that people see. So I'm massively, massively appreciative of Shannon, and I want her, I think she's going to hear this, but I'd like her to know how much respect and appreciation I have for her and her efforts, and not just her efforts, but her level of competence is through the roof. If something's not working, she just goes to the next thing, and she'll figure out a way to make it happen. And it's just unbelievable to me. So how much respect I have for her being great at her job, being at another level at her job. And not that she's underappreciated here at Gas Digital, but sometimes I don't think she gets a lot of the accolades. So I want to give them to her. And so I'm massively appreciative. and also for Gas Digital for giving me the opportunity to come in and do this podcast and try and fail at stuff. And we didn't attain the commercial success that I had hoped for, but the people who watch, I think, are a core group of people who, number one, understand sarcasm and like jokes, and I think that's the kind of people that I wanted. But unfortunately, we just didn't expand enough, and that's on me for not being able to take it and pivot and take it to the next level. But it's all a learning process. Podcasting is new to me. It's newer in general, so some of it is figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and taking the things that work and making them better. So it's all a process. So, but again, I'm so appreciative of you guys watching and listening, and understanding the tone of the show. I think that's a lot what was missed on the show. It's like, I don't know if the general public gets the tone of what we were trying to do, a fake news, but seriously investigating stuff that no one else wants to investigate. Like, do we even have an answer on baby formula? Do we even know what's going on with the babies? And when they're crying, it's like they're hungry, and that's because there's a ship somewhere holding all of their baby formula that's unable to unload it for some reason, and no one's ever gotten to the bottom of it. And we've at least tried to pursue it. Or John Hinckley Jr., like, where's he going to be appearing next in concert? And, so these are the questions, and maybe they're not the burning questions on everybody's, in the front of everybody's mind every day when they go to work, or in our fans' case, stay at home. But it's in the back of people's minds. And we did a show for what's in the back of people's minds. And apparently it didn't resonate the way that we thought it would. But we live and we learn, and there's new ventures for me, and I'm sure Shannon will be snapped up into another show here at Gas, and she has her own show, which she's making a massive success, by the way. So no surprise there. So that's the news. That's the elephant in the room. So I wanted to say thank you and express my gratitude in all directions. And also, I'll do massive plugs on this episode at some point where everyone can follow me, so that, when I do embark on the next thing, that everybody can come back in, whatever that may be. I don't know. I'm going to take some time and think about it. I'm on the road a lot. So if you're in these different cities, please come out and holler at your boy, and come to a show and see. Like, podcasting is the secondary thing. I'm really, I've been doing stand-up comedy for 23 years. So it's, comedy is my first love, stand-up comedy. So if I'm in a city that you're in, please come out and see a show. And I remember a long way back, I was in Tampa, and a person from the podcast came to see the show. After the show, she goes, "Wow, you're really funny." It's like, yeah, I've been doing that for longer. The podcast is new. This is stand-up comedy is the thing I've been doing forever. So that's also evolving. Always working on new material, and the podcast has helped with that. So that's it, guys. I appreciate you tuning in, and that's not all of the show, by the way. I'm pulling Shannon. It's a quiet day here at Gas Digital, and I think the flags are at half-mast because of this show, if this show going into retirement. So I'd like to pull Shannon from the booth. There's nobody here. It's very quiet. Half the lights were off when I came in, and I'd like to bring Shannon in, and we could do one last round of investigation, and that's going to have to be it. Shannon, how are you? It's a sad day.
It is. By the way, we're both wearing black T-shirts in mourning.
Yes, we're mourning. We're mourning. But we've weathered so much. Like, we had No Disrespect.
And different co-hosts on No Disrespect also.
Well, first of all, it was Chris D, and I just did Chris D's podcast recently, and we reminisced about I think we were called. We were No Disrespect, but we were trying to think of another name. We were going to call each other the Gelato Boys. That's actually a very good name for a podcast, the Gelato Boys, the Gelato Brothers. And then it was pitching, and then my friend was like, the Linguini brother. He didn't get it, so he couldn't get it. But Gelato Boys. So it was Chris for a little while, and that was really fun.
But he only showed up for maybe 5 of the episodes.
Chris
that we
did
did.
that. Chris did the thing from the movie with Chaz Palminteri. What was the movie with Chaz Palminteri where the guy goes, Calogero goes, I'm gonna beat this guy up. I'm gonna beat this guy up because he owes me money. And he sees the guy, and the guy goes, my mother's sick. I gotta go. My mother's That's what Chris. Yes. That's what Chris always did. Chris goes, I got something. I can't. My mother's. I can't come in today. My mother's sick. It was so funny how many. He missed episodes, and to the point where he was like, I can't do it anymore. I got other things going on. And then Justin. We had Justin for a long time, and we did a lot of good. I mean, people who are massively successful now we had on this podcast.
That's true.
And we did Bad Cop, which was our key segment.
That was great. Also, the breaks were a big catch. A lot of people loved what happened during the breaks.
Yeah, the breaks were fun. The Bad Cop, and then we lost Justin.
Yeah.
To the dogs. He went to the dogs, and now he's got another podcast.
Yep. With
Josh Adammeyer. Two great guys. I love them both. I was on it.
Yes.
And to find out if you're a Guido or not.
Himbos.
Oh, yeah, himbos. But I think the himbo thing is all to find out how much of a Guido you are.
It is.
So it's great. And so he's moved on to other things and managed to, this is like, it's like the mafia. It's business. It's not personal. So with the guys coming and going, it's a little bit of heartbreak. It's like a breakup, but it's like, I still love you. And it's like, well, can we keep in touch? It's like, we should probably break for a while and then not talk. And so we can heal, but then we could be friends later. And it's like, well, you're fat. It's like one last thing to say because you're hurt. But there's a little bit of hurt involved. You guys are right about that. It's like, oh, it can't be that clean of a break. It's like, oh, no, there is a little bit of hurt involved in these breakups, but ultimately you understand that we were all stand-ups. Most the guys I know, we were stand-ups before all this, and we all ran around together doing different clubs before all of these podcasts came about. And now these are emerging, and it's changing the landscape a lot in terms of like people getting together and friendships, and it's more dictated by business now rather than, I guess it was dictated by business before, but it's just a matter of who you were performing with, clubs and all this stuff, and being booked. And so those were my two co-hosts, and then I decided to try to go it alone with Shannon as the producer on just Mike Vecchione Investigates. This network gave me the opportunity to do it, which again I'm grateful for, and we really did give it a shot. And I don't know. We maybe it was too niche of a show. I don't know. I'll have to evaluate it. You always evaluate after you attempt something and it doesn't reach the point that you want it to reach, doesn't reach fruition. So I'd have to look at it for the next thing to be like make improvements on it. So, but what a blast that we've had in here, interviewing people and looking at news stories, and yeah, it's been the greatest, Shannon.
I agree. I am super bummed about this.
Yes, you knew it when I called you.
Yeah.
The phone call was like, "Is this bad news?"
Yes, because I was recording another show, and then I saw a missed call from Mike, or 2 missed calls from Mike. I was like, "Oh no,
oh no,
oh no, what's coming?" And then when I was finally able to call him back, I heard the tone of your voice, and I knew it was coming. But I do want to say, because you said such sweet things about me before I came in, that I would like to also say sweet things about you.
Okay, it's get back time, Shannon. There's your camera. There's your camera. Let it go.
This smoke break is brought to you by YoDelta.com, the official Getting High sponsor of the Gas Digital Network.
So what you said before is that like a I guess somebody who listens to the podcast went to a show and was like, oh, you're actually very funny. And I just feel like if there are any listeners that have never seen your stand-up, you're missing out. And I've said it a million times. I've seen you do stand-up so many times every year for my birthday. Most years I go and see you.
Yeah, you come and see me.
And Mike is a comedic genius. He is an amazing writer. He is so freaking funny. And that's why it's a bummer that this didn't catch, but that just means that whatever the next thing is that you do is going to just skyrocket because you're so funny and you deserve it. And I just like after this ends, like right now, go to Mike's Instagram page, Comic Mike V, look at all of his clips and then see if he's going to be in your town because you have to. It's too funny.
Shannon, I'm also the next text you'll be getting from me are like pitches for shows that we could do together. It's like, and then, I'd like to do it on my own, but then, figure out using the studio somehow, or maybe at my apartment. It's right. It's pretty close by. So the next texts you'll be getting from me are all pitch ideas. But we really did have a great time together. And, no regrets. It was perfect. It didn't catch the way that I'm still trying to figure out what catches and what doesn't. And because I don't know the demographics of who watches what and what age group watches, what. And still trying to figure that out. I think this skews, I think YouTube maybe skews a little bit older. But podcasting in general, I think skews younger. But is anybody even watching TV anymore who's under 65? I was watching Suits last night. I was watching Suits.
Is it good?
And Katie was like,
good.
I'm not going to watch a bad show. I'm like, I have to watch. I can't just be on YouTube. It makes my brain it's a form of social media. It makes my brain kind of crazy. I guess if you're watching an interview, I watched an Alan Dershowitz interview, it was really enlightening and very good. But but after a while, it's like you find yourself floating around too much, and you want to watch a cohesive story. I find myself craving that even if the story is not good. I just want to watch characters and people evolve through a story without like just interviewing, you know what I mean? Because that's what mostly YouTube is, right?
I keep seeing Suits pop up on Netflix, but I feel like I can't do it. But what I will watch on YouTube, I don't watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. I watch music videos, like acoustic music videos I find on there. And then,
when you're making dinner or something?
Oh, when I like commuting or when I'm on the treadmill, which is finally over.
But how does that make you, one of the failings of the show maybe, and in stand-up also, I watch it a lot, and maybe you could shed some light on this too, which is like, how does the audience feel when they're watching? It's like, it's really about how they're feeling. I watch people do stand-up and I watch people react to them. It's like, I'm killing, they're killing. It's like, what's the difference? It's like, oh, the difference is that they're feeling us. The jokes are funny, but how is it making them feel? Same thing with watching a podcast.
I feel like recently, and maybe you guys can shed some light on this for us in this final episode on the YouTube comments.
Yeah, comment.
But I do feel like, especially lately in the era of the low-income whites, which has maybe been since last Skankfest. So maybe is that about a year?
I call them low-income whites at Skankfest.
Yeah, so it's been about a year, the era. And I do feel like they feel part of us.
Yes, galvanized.
Yes.
Yeah.
According to like the comments I've seen and stuff, I see a lot of people explaining why they are low-income whites, why they're not understanding what's happening on the show. So I feel like they've merged with us.
I did a show not too long ago, and I'm very sarcastic in my stand-up. So I was doing my act, and it's like, it was just going over. They didn't get it. It happens a few times where it's like I'm doing my. Usually it really hits. They're dialed into it, but sometimes, occasionally, I'll start doing it, and they'll be like, "What? What is this? Why is he saying that?" Like, they don't get sarcasm. And then I have to go, do you guys not get sarcasm? Let me explain to you. You have to get sarcasm in order to enjoy me. It's going to be a long night if you don't get it. I'm using it. I'm telling you I'm using it. Please, I want you to have a good time. You're not going to have a good time if you're not dialed into what I'm doing.
Does that turn them around?
It does. Okay. It helps. It helps because I don't condescend them. I don't say, you guys don't get it. It's like, I just go, look, guys, I love you. I want you to I'm happy you're here. I'm legitimately grateful that they're at my show. So in order to have the most fun possible, you have to dial into this sarcasm. And then I'll say it in between jokes, like, right? It's try to point it out. So, but my point is that there's a segment of people who do not. That's not their thing.
Okay.
And then I think that they're not dumb. It's just like, maybe everybody's got their gifts, some people are more technically sound. I've done in front of like Microsoft, like these real tech people, they don't get that. I mean, and they're the smartest people. Their IQs are through the roof, but they are not dialed into like sarcasm or tone or, you know what I mean? Like they can't like decipher the what? They're just kind of like, what is this?
You're saying your comedy is too smart for people.
No. I'm not saying it's not by any stretch. I'm a low income white like the rest, but no, I don't think it's too smart. I just think that if you're not dialed into that mechanism, sarcasm, saying something and not meaning it, but just like then you're gonna miss a lot of what I do. So maybe I should dial that back.
Well, people tell us in the comments. Maybe this will resolve everything. The comments of this episode.
The comments of this episode will resolve anything. But be kind. It's our last episode. Don't let us have it, really, because we're gonna read them. So, don't tell us that we're talentless and should jump off a bridge, because we will do it. we will take it seriously. But this podcast has been so great because it's the tone of the podcast is a fake investigatory show. And it's like we're serious about fake investigations. Like we know these investigations are mindless and unimportant to many, but it's important to us. And it's like the whole tone of the show is take the minutia of things that people aren't really focused on and then bring them to the forefront and then just hammer them. So that was the whole tone of the show. If you need it spelled out, maybe we should have done this on the first episode
maybe
instead of the last one. Like really like laying it out for these people who are low income whites. But one of the things that we have been following for you, because it's been in the comments, people have been saying in the comments, like there's been no update on the baby formula shortage.
On that last or 2 episodes ago now, maybe the one with Jill Gonzalez, she gave a real behind the scenes like knowledge drop on it.
Yeah. And what did she say?
Something.
Yeah, it was too hard to follow, wasn't it? It was very hard to follow. Robbie Bernstein also. Yeah. Robbie Bernstein also was like, oh, it's the supply and the demand, and there's 3 companies that make it, and he juxtaposed it in such a way, and I was like, Robbie, baby, you're losing. Robbie, baby, you're losing our listeners. You've lost me, and I'm the smartest one of our listeners. By a lot.
Yeah, it didn't stick.
But it's like, are we getting the baby formula or not? And he was like, no, the supply and demand chain, 2 companies to make it. One's a German company, and they're bartering with our It's like, I want to cry and have a tantrum right now because of what you're saying.
So we do have an update today.
Do we have an update?
We do.
Okay.
So what I read was that I guess there's still some...
You're a special reporter from
the field. Yes. This is breaking news.
Shannon, are you going to do weather also? Maybe that was the problem with the podcast. We didn't cut to weather enough. You're like a sexy weather lady.
We used to do that. Weather and traffic. We used to do.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
That was from early No Disrespect. Maybe even Chris DiStefano days.
Yeah.
And then I used to have to scramble to try to figure out what would be the name of a highway.
That was really a great one. I love being in intense debate about baby formula. And, oh, my God. Let's go to traffic. Shannon, what? Traffic? It's like, Shannon, you got to be ready for traffic. That's what I mean about your talent, Shannon. You always came up with something when we were going to traffic for our commuters.
And I don't drive, so I don't know the name of any highways or any streets or where traffic might be. So
Shannon and I live in Staten Island, and you take the bus. But you could do a ferry report. It's like, Shannon, what's the traffic? It's like, it's choppy. It's like we're going at 28 knots per hour.
No internet service.
No internet service on the ferry. But you were always ready for traffic and weather on the ones. Yes. When we hit. That's what we would do when we would hit a wall in some of these cases, because the government wanted us to hit the wall. We would have to go to traffic and transit on the ones for your commute. But what was the update on the baby formula?
So while there does seem to be they're catching up a bit, what they're saying now is because they are still backlogged, is the solution is donor milk.
They're still backlogged. They don't have enough. They're not making enough.
Yes.
Okay. So donor milk. So breast milk breast donor milk.
Yes.
But the whole issue was that women are astronauts and they can't get their breasts out of the spacesuit in order to donate the milk, even because they're in space.
I bet what they could do is inside of the astronaut suit, put like the pumpy things inside. So it's just
pumpy.
Yeah, like the pumpy things, and then so it's like pumping the milk inside the uniform, and she doesn't even have to do anything. And then when they come back, they just have all of this breast milk from the women astronauts.
Yeah, but isn't that parasitic? It's like sucking the breast milk out of the woman, and the woman has to consent. Are you challenging consent?
No, well,
all women should have to donate and should wear a jump. All women should have to wear a jumpsuit and donate their breast milk.
No, that wasn't my suggestion.
Okay, well, I'm turning it. I'm turning it on you.
Do you think that I meant that it's just secretly in their astronaut uniforms?
Yeah,
They don't know what's happening?
secret breast pump.
Well, that's something.
That is something.
I mean, it's not really
You're
hurting
stealing
her.
breast milk from women, and you could do it while they're sleeping. It's like free nightgown, and then the breast pumps go on them, and then we just milk them like cows.
I mean, what else are they doing with the breast milk in space anyway? It's going to go to waste.
Yeah, they're wasting the breast milk in space. What a waste.
So that's what's happening with it right now. Is they're going in the direction.
We need to donate breast milk. Well, who makes money off of that though? The company that's getting the milk.
Well, I feel like up until now, what I've read is that like you buy breast milk on like a black market. There's not like
black market breast milk.
Yes.
That's hot. I'm a little bit turned on. Is that wrong, Shannon?
No,
I think it's wrong.
no kink shaming here.
Okay.
That does it
But
for you.
like black market, it's not the breast milk. It's the fact that it's on the black market that makes it dirty for me.
Yeah, it probably is dirty.
It's not
because there's no regulations around like how what temperature they keep
Right.
it at or how they're shipping it or
Right.
whatever. But so I guess maybe if they're going in the direction of using donor breast milk, that maybe they're going to regulate it. Where it's like they
have to regulate it.
Yeah.
Because you can't be selling black market. You can't be selling black market baby milk.
No, if it's just like warm and
Yeah, it could be at the
gross.
wrong temperature.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with it. And there could be, who knows, what if the mother is drinking
Yes, or
and
like
smoking?
a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of problems with black market breast milk.
I wonder if the breast milk from space would be better some way because of like the no gravity. Maybe it would do something amazing to the breast milk and make the kids like supercharged.
We don't know the non-pasteurized versus pasteurized, lactose intolerant.
You're saying a lot of things.
I'm just saying words to try to create different angles of the story. I'm trying to get to the bottom of why we don't have any breast milk. We know because women are in space and they don't have time. And you're suggesting that we hook up udders to them.
Yes.
No, the udders is what they have.
All right.
Hook up a mechanism in order to get the milk from them.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of ways that these women could make money by selling their own breast milk. Do they get a profit from it?
So
Shouldn't women... They could start their own business.
That's what the black market breast milk is. Like those women.
And they could do
sell it.
ice cream and gelatos and also in cheese. Breast milk cheese?
It's so disgusting.
Do you like breasts? Yes. Do you like cheese? Yes. Here's brings your two favorite things together, Shannon. Why are you grossed out by that?
Oh, I don't know. It's really affecting me.
Well, I think that the one thing is we're coming up with a good business model here.
This is your next business.
This is my next business. I'm going to sell black market breast milk and other black market derivatives of breast milk,
Dairy
breast
products.
cheese, dairy products, and I'm going to sell them. And then I'm also going to sell the products as merch. It's like merch that you can eat. But also I'm going to do an OnlyFans where it pumps to their breasts because I'm sure the sickos out there will want to watch that.
That's good. So you're hitting all the markets.
But is this turn women into livestock? What are your thoughts? That's an angle.
Yes, but
Yes, it does.
But like cows and stuff don't get paid.
Yeah.
They just get tortured.
Right.
Like these women will be paid handsomely.
As a vegan,
Yeah.
would you eat cheese from a woman who is your crosstown rival? Like if it's like, what if it's like she's your enemy, but you're gonna eat.
I wouldn't, but I'm not ethically against it.
Yes, ethically against it because she wasn't coerced into
No,
it.
she consented.
And women make 70 cents to the whatever. So then they would be able to make more money. And they would make more money than men. But men, could there be a trading market where it's like, if you give me your breast milk, I'll give you my semen? What's the semen to breast milk ratio?
Here's the thing, though. If she has breast milk, that means she probably had a baby recently. Maybe she's not really in need of the semen.
Yeah.
So we need a different swap.
Wow. That would have been perfect, though.
Yeah.
If you could have got the breast milk and then they could have.
Okay.
How about semen first, breast milk second?
Yes, other way around.
Yes.
Because then the baby comes, and then he kind of has a right to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's from his semen.
Yeah.
Baby.
Men's rights. I think what you're saying, Shannon, is men's rights, and it's toxic. We throw that in there too for the ladies who are watching.
But it's like everyone's working as a team.
Yeah, it's teamwork. It's new age teamwork. Yes. It used to be like you get a house on a frontier, and then most of the women would die during childbirth, unfortunately. So this is a better way to do it. You know,
I like it.
Breast milk into
semen into breast milk.
Semen into breast milk.
Yeah.
You donate the semen. They come up with the breast milk. Everybody wins. Everybody uses their gifts.
Yep.
Wow. We solved the baby formula crisis, Shannon. We actually did it.
Yes.
Can you guys make this go viral so that we can bring the podcast back? Please? We just solved it in a YouTube
Mike,
clip.
If this episode did like 100,000 views or something, would you change your mind?
I would change my mind as far as like, I think we would do something.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'd have to but I don't know. You would have to get consent from Gas, and I don't know if I could use. But I would use you not as a producer, as an independent talent, and then as a consultant,
as a breast milk provider.
That would be on our Patreon. Okay, you doing breast milk?
Yeah, in an astronaut uniform.
Yeah, and then we would do a thing where it's like you have your breast milk pumped, we video it, and then you're vaping at the same time. So there's also outrage. So people would be like, look at her. What a terrible mom.
Yeah, or that's going to be what cancels us is like somebody catches like a video of me vaping while I'm doing it, and they're like, oh, look what she's been doing all along.
Right.
And it takes the whole business down.
It takes the business down, but then we go on Rogan and explain ourselves.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Where like somehow the vape helps it.
Yeah. It's like, there's always the backlash from being canceled. So you get canceled and then you explain it, make a comeback.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not a bad person. And then it's like, because always the people who are first to cancel you are like, they're the most extreme.
Right.
people.
But then there's also like the fringe people who are like back the canceled people.
Yeah.
So we'll get like a whole different fan base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. All from your great idea. Well, it's an idea that we did together.
A combined idea.
A combined business.
Semen to breast milk.
Maybe it's a business podcast that we should do. Pitching businesses that no one thinks of.
Businesses and movies. I think that's what we do best. Movie ideas and businesses.
Yes. We did a whole thing where we were parents and we were raising Natalie. Yes. And then Natalie promptly left the podcast. I think the next episode, she was like, I'm never coming back. And she didn't even say a proper goodbye. She's like, I'm not here past 4. It's like, that's when we do the podcast, Natalie. It's like, I'm never coming back.
We also did the movie about the bomb squad guy, the love story.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? So it was a guy who worked in the bomb squad, and then it was like something about so the point I was making was that in a love story,
you had a great streak. I remember that one.
In a love story, I feel like after the main love interest dies, there shouldn't be another love interest. And then so in this story, the wife died because she got exploded, but the husband works for the bomb squad. He's like the captain of the bomb squad or whatever, and he was trying to seek vengeance for his wife's murder. This isn't ringing any bells to you?
Yes, it is. I vaguely remember it. But I mean, I just know that you had a series of good ideas. But I like you say that he got exploded.
Yeah, he got exploded. She got exploded.
She got exploded. Yeah. I don't remember the specifics of it.
That's the long and the short of it.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
But that was a fun one too. But yeah, this is an idea machine that we have. Okay, so the baby formula shortage is solved. For those of you in the comments asking, what about the baby formula? Me and Shannon in like a Hail Mary in the last 3 seconds of the game, Boston College versus University of Miami, 1980, whatever it was, 3 or 4. It's just a Hail Mary that we threw. And you know what? We caught it in the end zone as we won the game. The baby formula, if nothing else, this podcast has solved nothing else. It's the baby formula shortage is now solved. Donor breast milk for semen. Everybody wins. Man and woman and non-binaries could facilitate it. Everybody's included. The next story that's been on the docket and that you guys have been craving, according to me, who's misjudged the entire podcast community and numbers. So take that with a grain of salt. John Hinckley Jr., would-be assassin of Ronald Reagan, signs record deal for debut vinyl album. Shannon, who called this?
You did.
I did. I said I want to hear him. I said if he's in concert, I'm going. And I mean it. I am going to see John Hinckley Jr. sing the hits.
Yeah, and that's it's fairly recent. That article is from the middle of July.
Yeah.
But I also did, as I was looking it up, there were a couple of dates that were canceled.
I wonder why. No, it's because you're an assassin, and it's like, can't we forgive this? Reagan is dead, and he died from other things. He didn't die from, like, if anything, the shooting boosted Reagan's liking his numbers as a president. His numbers went up after being shot, just kind of like a rapper.
But Jodie Foster is still alive. That might be the problem.
Yeah, but she wasn't involved. She was the motivation, but she wasn't involved at all.
But she's still, like, maybe could she still be the motivation? Like, I feel like while she is around, we can't maybe trust
Do you
him.
think every song is about Jodie Foster secretly?
Maybe. They're like love songs, right?
They're love songs, and it's all about peace and love and stuff. It's like, I said this before, I know I'm repeating myself, one song about assassination, one song about a cold gun against your cold steel against your hand. I mean, not that you're going to do it now, but that was your past. Explain it at least in a song.
I did. Yesterday I was in the car with Big J, and he played the song Possum Kingdom by the Toadies.
Yeah.
And then said that it's actually about murder is the song.
Right.
So he needs to maybe go in, like, you could just do that, I guess. You could just write songs about murder.
Yeah, or maybe he does a song, and in the middle of it, he raps about Reagan. Yeah. What's up, son? What's up, son? Got past your Secret Service, yo. He could do that. And then explain it in a rap, which is just a poem, basically. A rap is a poem aggressively. That's what I mean about pivoting. It's like poems never took off. It's like no one goes to a poetry reading, but rap is huge. Mm-hmm. So if you just angle it a little bit, it's like rap is just poetry set to music.
I feel like he's will get hate for cultural appropriation, though, if he goes in that direction. Whereas if he just kind of like hides it in his songs, like talk about
what's cultural appropriation? He shot a guy who was the sitting president.
I guess you're right.
Yes,
but the style.
I am right, Shannon.
The style of the music. Whereas, like, if he just used like pretty flowery language to talk about the assassination attempt.
But isn't cultural appropriation? I understand it's like you're taking this and making money from it, but isn't that like? We just kind of do that as a country. Yes. Whatever's winning, it's like we take it. It's like I see somebody driving a Lamborghini and I go, hey, you're just a white. I'm Italian. That should be my car. You're taking my car. It's like, I bought this car, dude. Yeah. And it's like, but a Lamborghini's like the best sports car. It's like the best sports car. And that guy could afford it. So is it that? I don't know if it's that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that it's like, we're human beings sharing ideas.
Yeah, we're sharing ideas. And then I get the fact that somebody takes your cultural idea and then makes millions of dollars off it. You're like, hey, that was kind of our thing. And we're like, not profiting off of it.
I agree.
How about a little kickback? How about we wet our beak a little bit? How about you kick back a little bit on each Lamborghini, you pieces of garbage, huh? How about you don't be so selfish? Kick back a little of the Lamborghini in every slice of pizza that you eat to the community here. I don't know. I think it would be good. But Hinckley Jr. is on the road, Shannon.
He is. I think that Buffalo date passed.
Well, if they asked me to open for him, you know what my answer would be?
What?
Yes.
Would you
I'm
really?
going to open for him.
Would you really?
Yeah, and it would be all Hinckley jokes.
Have you been working on it?
No, my Hinckley Jr. set. Yes. No one takes this guy seriously, and he's actually really good. It's it's like he got a decent voice. I mean, he was in that mental institution for 40 years. You would write songs. You would do something to fill your time. That's his entire life, basically, has been in a mental institution.
Right. However, I feel like there is no way with like our healthcare system that you're going to come out less crazy after 40 years in a mental institution. Like he's probably just a ticking time bomb.
No, I think after a while, it's like, do you see these people who go and call like Manson and stuff? They always like, they're crazy and it's like, I'll kill everybody. And like, I'll never, have these allegiances. And then they're like, and they're even like smirking when they're taken away and given a life sentence. But then after like 5 years in jail, and they in the cold, like they realize that it's like, oh, I'm never reality sits in pretty quickly, is what I'm saying. So these fantasies they have about being a killer, and even though they are killers and stuff, it's like, oh, it dulls down when you're in a room by yourself for at least 5 years or whatever, and it's like, oh, I got like the rest of my life in here. So it's like, most of these people find God pretty quickly, and then they're like ultra religious. They turn the leaf. So it's very rarely that they keep that same. I like the phrase now. Keep that same energy. It's very rare that they keep the same energy of killing when they're in like a tough prison. They kind of shift their minds.
I guess it depends on like the level of mental illness that they start out with before they go in. Like,
right,
was it a moment that they just like got caught up in a whirlwind of something, and then they get separated from it and chill out, or is there a serious like mental issue or like a chemical imbalance that is just going to be like exacerbated inside of like a holding cell?
Exacerbated is a big word for our fans.
I can't look it up right now. I'm sorry. You guys have to do it.
Yeah. Shannon can't look it up.
Google
She's
it.
on the show today, okay, guys? And she's doing 2 jobs right now, believe it or not. And these guys don't have 1 job. Isn't that ironic that you're doing 2 jobs right now?
Right.
God, maybe that's why the show didn't make it, because of me hurling insults at the fans.
Well, they love it.
They love it. Oh, you guys love it. You dirty. You love it. You go on our breast milk channel and watch Shannon milk a woman and donate it.
Oh, that's the way to do it.
Shannon milking a woman.
Yeah, you have like women extracting the milk from other women. That's the way to do it on the OnlyFans. You can't have like a milker, like a pump thing.
Yeah.
You have to have like human to human contact.
Right. And she has to be really
hot.
Yeah, she has to be really hot, but she also has to like there's one where she like is very helpful and nurturing, and maybe gives her a little kiss at the end. and then one where she talks down to the woman.
Yeah, or she's like tied down, like a whole like S&M thing.
Yeah, S&M.
Yeah.
Or maybe a stepmom gets out of the shower.
Yes.
And no, I don't know. I'm spitballing ideas. Now we're just off the rails into porn scenarios. Yeah. Which can really screw your brain up. Okay. Enough preaching from me. John Hinckley Jr. is on the road. Guys, I'll plug my dates. Shannon's going to plug her podcast that she has. But if John Hinckley Jr. is on the road, take a shot. Take a shot and go see him. Let's go to the next one. Oh, wow, this is going fast, Shannon.
It is fun.
Our time is running out here on the show. It's ticking down.
Sad.
Retired Dr. Scott Burke's Nantucket party yacht was used to make porn before his arrest for drugs, guns, and prostitutes.
Have you seen anything about this story?
Yeah, I think I saw something about it. He's a retired doctor.
Yeah, he's like...
Who complained? Another boat?
No. So he's in his... I believe I feel like 68, 69, but I'm going off of my memory now from the article. He's not that old. And apparently he has stage 4 cancer. At least that's what his lawyer is saying. So he's like only has a few months to live. So he was out on the yacht. He was with like a bunch of chicks. There was a whole bunch of drugs. There was ecstasy, cocaine, Adderall, something else, a whole bunch of drugs, like grams and grams of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much a gram is, but I feel like it's a lot. Many grams.
Yeah, you're not in the metric system, Shannon.
No. Is a gram? I don't know what a gram is. Not a lot.
No.
There was like 48 grams of one of them. What would 48 grams?
That's a lot. 48 grams is a lot. Yeah, okay. I think.
So they're partying and they were shooting porn also on this boat. And then
this guy wants to go to hell. Apparently, stage 4 cancer, directly to hell. Drugs, porn, kill a man.
Oh, and guns. There was also, there was one gun on board.
Yeah.
So one of the girls that was on board made a call to the authorities saying that she overdosed and she needed help. But she also kind of ratted, I mean, really, what is anybody doing wrong here? They're out on a ship, they're out in the ocean, they're all having a great time, doing drugs, having sex, all great. And
right.
He's on his way out, whatever. No one's hurting anybody.
Right.
And then, but she ratted everybody out. And she's like, everyone's just been doing porn and drugs this whole time. Please come and help me. And then so like the cops, whatever the ocean cops are, they went out there.
Coast Guard. Yes. That's why you should love this podcast, because Shannon comes through with the ocean cops. Okay. All right. She doesn't want to make any waves. She's coming through with ocean cops, and she means the Coast Guard.
Yeah, that.
Well, that'd be great if there was a jurisdictional, like the Coast Guard shows up and then the Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's like, no, this is ours. It's like, no, it's not. It's ours. Okay. So they show up, and this girl's a snitch.
She is a snitch.
Yeah.
So they take her to the hospital. She's fine, and then obviously arrest him. He claims that he had a permit to like carry. He's from Florida, of course.
Yeah.
They said he had a permit to carry that gun, but it expired in 2022. But it's like, he's old. He forgot. It was just a few months ago. Like, that's not so long ago.
That's what I say to TSA when I carry my sawed-off shotgun through. It's like, I'm old. I forgot about it. God, you never had a sawed-off shotgun?
He just forgot to like renew his
right.
license.
And he's a stage 4 cancer. Just let him. I mean,
that's what they're saying, though.
Oh, I'd see the medical. What about the medical reports?
So this thing about him having stage 4 cancer.
His lawyer's also a doctor. That would be a doctor lawyer.
Yes.
God.
But it says it's an undisclosed type of cancer.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me feel like they're making this up so that they don't put him in prison.
Yeah.
But that's where we are right now in the story.
Oh,
They
man.
bonded him out. It was like $200,000 or something. So he's out of jail right now. But we'll see what happens next. Or you're never going to see what happens next on the show.
How much longer does he have? I don't know how much longer he has.
A few months to live.
Oh, yeah.
Is what they're saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's pretty fun to blow it out. You know, not hurting anybody, but you go out on a boat.
Yeah, we get that rat on the board that ruined everything.
Oh, Shannon, you're going real hard.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah. This could be the start of our Mafia podcast. Yes. It's like the Mafia and other things in life. It's a rat. You kill a rat. But no, couldn't they put her on a lifeboat and just send her like, you'd be like, okay, let's send her on a lifeboat out to the back to shore, or make a trip around to shore and like lifeboat drop her off and be like, okay. But she did almost overdose, but that's like her fault, kind of, right. You know.
I mean, no one else on the ship almost overdosed. They're all doing the same drugs, so it's not like it was fentanyl or something.
Yeah.
Also, it's not like they just threw her overboard to die.
Yeah.
Like they kept her on the ship.
Yeah.
So
they kept her in the bow.
Yeah.
Of the ship. I'd keep her in a separate on the port side. I'd keep her in a separate part of the ship. I would keep her in a separate part because I would be mad at her.
What are those like the prisons underneath like cruise ships called? Not barracks. It's called something like the jails underneath a cruise ship.
I don't know what that's called either. But we'll let our fans comment. I'm sure they know everything, right? Don't you guys know everything? Sorry. He's talking down. So that guy is going out like a hero.
It would really suck, though, if they do put him away and he spends the rest of his life in jail. I feel like that would really suck. Well,
he could get it back by dying and then having his ashes burnt and then sprinkled all over the ocean.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm back, baby.
That's true.
That's
good. He lives in like a really rich part of Florida. I forget the name of it, but they say that houses go for like 30-something million. So he's doing good.
He's doing good for another month.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I would be, instead of him like working on a cure, or like working on like, I have hope, he just is like resigned himself. I kind of like that. I kind of like resigning, like, all right. It's like, this is all finite anyway. So it's like, let me just blow it out and have a great time.
Yeah. And he's probably helped plenty of people. I don't know what kind of a doctor he is, but he's probably already done it. He's helped lots of people.
Yeah.
And if just like he would have vetted out these people a little better, or if he had like a nurse on board or something, just so in case somebody took too much drugs, she could take care of it.
If you take too much drugs, talk to her.
Too many drugs.
Yeah, he's a doctor. That's a good point. So the girl overdosed. He goes, let me check you out. You're good. Wouldn't that be great if he just went, let me check you out. You're good. Yeah. Now let's continue doing drugs and doing porn. Yeah, he's like, no copay. I've waived your fee. It's awesome. And then she was probably like, I want a second opinion on land. Ugh, God, what a snitch. All right, so shout out to Scott Berg. This is like an underdog. We're rooting for all the underdogs. Yes. That's the theme of this podcast, which I've just realized. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's too late, but we root for underdogs on this podcast, Shannon. Let's go to the next one. I booked we gotta be out of here on time too. So, because we have a special breakfast to go to.
Yes.
A commemorative breakfast.
Yes.
And okay, let's go to
I might have to run in the other room so I can show you a picture of this one.
Okay. This is the last. So let's do this last one and then wrap.
Okay.
Because this is I booked a hotel room with a stunning view of New York only to discover I'd been completely duped. Wow. These are fake real estate agents, Shannon. It's a real estate agent doing a fake listing. God, this is probably all over New York. A fake view?
Yeah, I'm gonna show. Let me see which one I could show you first. So this is the picture from their room. So what's happening here? Wait, let me see if I can find the listing. Wait, don't look at that. Okay, so this is the listing.
Ooh, that looks good.
So it kind of looks like you're seeing the skyline of New York City.
Yeah.
And then when
looks like a hotel.
Yes, it is a hotel.
Oh, okay.
Except the hotel is in Staten Island.
All right.
So this is like more close up, so you can see that it's one of those like kind of transparent, like window coverings.
Right.
And then this is when she lifts it up. This is what's actually the view.
Oh my God.
Just
a suburban street.
Yeah, and it's.
Did they say that it's in Staten Island?
Yes, they said the name of the hotel. Yeah. So it's in Staten Island. But also, I mean, if you have that view of the city where you're seeing that part of the skyline,
right,
you're obviously not in New York City. You can't see New York City from inside New York City that way.
Right.
So that's kind of stupid.
That's stupid too, and they make it clear that you're in Staten Island.
Yes.
Okay, well, you're not. I mean, I guess you want to see the skyline, and that's your main thing is to see the skyline.
And didn't like think past that part.
Right.
She's saying that her husband booked this, and that typically she books everything. Oh. And this time it was like a last minute, and so she's blaming him for overseeing.
I thought you were going to say that her husband's blind, and that she just lied to him and go, "It's a great skyline, trust me." And he's like, "All right," and then he paid for it all.
No, and there's only $100. Only $100 a night. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Because you have, yeah, but it's still a nice hotel room.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Was everything else up to par?
Yeah, they said everything else was nice.
Okay,
nothing.
All right, you got tricked a little bit. It happens. You didn't get completely ripped off. You didn't get completely hosed.
Right.
I mean, I don't know why you would want to come to New York and stay. No offense, Shannon, in Staten Island.
Agreed.
You know, you want to be in the city, but whatever. You know, I was gonna put my mom up in Queens when I lived in Queens, but it was just to be close to me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but no, I would. When I have her come in, I'm gonna have her stay at a nice hotel here, and then I'll go to her. But yeah, this is duped is a strong word for this. One of the accommodations was not right, so I don't know if I would lose my mind over that. With some of these things in life, guys, and you're going to learn this too, because our fans get snagged up on a lot of adversity. It's like you just have to chalk it up to experience. Some things you fight if you got completely ripped off, yeah, then you take the energy and you fight it. But on this situation, it's like you don't want to spend this much energy on something small. You just take the loss and let it pass. It's hard not to get caught up on stuff, though.
Also, you have to like be a little bit more diligent in your researching of places that you're staying.
I think so.
Like this is on them.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit more diligent. You're blaming the customer. The customer's always wrong. It's like you don't know anything.
I don't know. I guess you can have that. You can have a nice view of Manhattan from Staten Island.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Okay. I take it back a little bit.
All right, Shannon. Shannon, that's how we're going to go out with you backpedaling on the last story. What Cellino and Barnes was our last. Cellino and Barnes. I think
big investigation.
Yeah. Barnes is dead. Still, at the beginning of the podcast, when we started this, he's dead, and he's still dead.
Yeah.
And Cellino is living his best life.
Yep. And
he started another law firm. And Barnes's brother started another law firm. And we had Cellino as a suspect because Italians kill people. And Barnes's brother has emerged as even a stronger suspect. So I'm going to end this podcast with letting Cellino off the hook.
Okay.
And Barnes conspiring to kill his brother by small aircraft.
Or they could have conspired together.
Cellino and Barnes.
Yeah.
Shannon, yes. You brought it full circle. Cellino and Barnes killed Barnes.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. I'm going to get behind that one. Okay. Shannon, thank you for saving this podcast. We saved the best for last. You didn't think we were going to follow up on Cellino and Barnes, and that was our first podcast. We did a full investigation of it, and we've since reversed. Time exposed what really was happening. Cellino and Barnes' brother killed Barnes. And we'll leave you with that one. Let's do some plugs right now. Listen, these plugs are very important because you're not going to see me again. At Comic Mike V on all social media platforms. At Comic Mike V. please follow me. I'm going to be doing videos and until I could think of my next venture. But I appreciate you. So please follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, TikTok, all the platforms at Comic Mike V. I'm going to be in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend, September 15th through 17th. Huntsville, Alabama, September 21st through 23rd. Austin, Texas at Comedy Mothership, September 29th and 30th. And then a few dates with my friend Nate Bargatze in Portland, Maine, Rochester, New York, and Radio City. Then Yonkers Comedy Club in October 12th through the 14th. Manchester, Connecticut, October 20th through 21st. And then Springfield, Missouri, Peoria, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Brea, California, Oxnard, California, Stanford, California, and so on and so forth. So MikeVecchione.com for dates, at Comic Mike V on all social media platforms. And if you could please, guys, join my mailing list. What's the number, Shannon, that's on there? It's I don't want to give the wrong number, but it's a card. It'll be shown. We'll leave it on the screen so people can see. Please join the mailing list. We have to fill rooms in order to be on the road. So please, I'm not going to overburden you with emails. I'll just, if I'm in a system, Liz Mealy's system, by the way, Lizard Mail, that if I come to your city, it just sends you an email letting you know that I'm there. So it's just one email and it organizes it according to zip code so that when I come to the city, it just notifies you that I'm in that city. So my point is, please join the mailing list. It's, what is it, Shannon?
So it's, you text the number 206, sorry, you text the number 206-207-5422 and enter Mike V.
Yeah, it'll give you a series of prompts. So that number, 206-207-5422, and then it'll give you a prompt, and then text the code is Mike V, and then it'll put you on the mailing list. It'll ask you maybe a couple other questions. So please do that. Type in that number, type in Mike V as the code word, and then be on my mailing list. Thank you guys for listening and for watching, and also my special is doing really well. It's 1.4 million on Nateland. The Attractives is on Nateland, and it's also on 800 Pound Gorilla's site. And 800 Pound Gorilla put it on their site a couple months after it was on Nate's site. Nate directed and produced it in association with 800 Pound. So now it's on the 800 Pound site, and it's creeping up. Like, it's a couple thousand every month. A couple thousand every week. So I'm already at 308,000 on the 800 Pound Gorilla site. So 1.4 million on Nate's site, but it keeps growing on because the way the algorithm works, the 800 Pound site now takes precedence, but we're growing a few thousand each week. So thank you, and thank you for watching, and please continue to support the special, The Attractives. Come to a city that I'm in to watch my stand-up, and follow me on social media to keep up with the rest of what I'm doing. I have a lot of gratitude for you guys tuning in. I'm very appreciative that you watched us and were here for it, and loyal people. I can't go through all the names, but I'm aware of you guys on the chat and making the comments for the algorithm. I'm very appreciative, so thank you very much. And Shannon, thank you for all of your hard work and for being such a great person.
And thank you, Mike. Thank you for the opportunity. I've loved working on the show very much, and I just hope you find something amazing to do. And I look forward to the titles of new podcasts that you're going to send me.
Yes, onward and upward. For Shannon, I'm Mike Vecchione. We will not see you guys next week, but hopefully we'll see you soon. God bless you. Guys, thank you for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates. And if you go to gasdigitalnetwork.com and use promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. That's gasdigitalnetwork.com, promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. Thank you again for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates on the Gas Digital Network.